We got Nik Lentz back here on the program, who's coming off a huge win this past weekend over Scott Hotlzman at UFC on ESPN. Nick, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Everything is great.
I bet, man. Congratulations on the victory. A dominant win there. What was the game plan heading into the fight, and do you feel like you executed it?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I know I'm a better striker than him. I know I'm a better, well-rounded fighter than him. I wouldn't say I underestimated him, but he was strong. He was big. He's a very big guy, very strong guy. And so what he lacked in technique, he definitely made up in physical strength. So it was a little bit hard on that. It was a little bit hard on that end. But besides that, I thought I did pretty well.
I'd say so too. Was this fight, was there anything get personal for you at all? I know when we did our interview, you didn't like the comment that he said about you being a gatekeeper. Was there any of that, or was it just, more of just like, hey, I'm going to shut this guy up for saying that?
No. He actually kind of cracked me up. And then in the interview, I didn't see this till after the fight, but he called me like an arrogant weirdo, and he made fun of my nickname and stuff. And so, it's always fun when you get to punch a guy in the face like that. You get to kind of show him that, hey, you are underestimating me. And I've done that to a few people, and it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to go out there, because at the end of the fight, when he looked at me, he knew he lost. He knew that he messed up, and I told him exactly what I was going to do, and I did it.
When you get your hand raised, were you happy with your performance? Finish probably would have been better, but it was a dominant win, and you got a decision in his backyard. I think that was very impressive.
Yeah, obviously, like you said, I wanted to finish him. I thought I had that guillotine for a second, but like I said, he was super strong. He's a super good athlete. But, yeah, I was pretty happy with the performance. The only thing was, by at the end of the fight, I was tired. There's no doubt. I was freaking having a heart attack after that fight. And then they carted me in the back, and they wouldn't even let me do my interviews or anything. They, threw me into the ambulance for no reason, because I was fine, but... So then I got to spend a couple hours in the hospital, and I was sitting in the hospital, and then some guy came in that got shot with a shotgun. So I was sitting there looking at myself, and I was like, well, I guess I don't have it so bad.
Right. Yeah. It puts things in perspective. That's crazy, man. What was there anything in the fight that surprised you that Scott brought to the table that maybe you weren't expecting?
Just a little bigger than I thought he would be. He's a massive 55-pounder. Massive. He's very strong, a little longer, a little taller than I thought he would be. But besides that, no, pretty much exactly what I expected.
How was the crowd? They were pretty negative all night, and you beat a hometown guy, like I said. Was that something you were conscious of, or you're just like, whatever? In
the fight, I didn't hear the crowd at all. I never really hear the crowd unless there's a really big lull or something. But I was pretty focused. But after, obviously, they booed me and stuff like that. But that's what happens when you fight the hometown guy. And like you said, I'm under no illusion that I was brought out there to lose, to build this guy up. But I knew that going in, and I knew that if I turned it around, it's just going to make me look all that much better.
And on that subject, you were the underdog heading into the fight. I don't know if you saw that on the betting lines. Did you get anyone telling you that you won some money or that they won some money on the fight?
Oh yeah, every once in a while people tweet these stats at me about random things I don't know. That fight was I got I'm almost the #1 for winning the most years in a row in the UFC. So that was 11 years in a row I've won one fight. And then my return on investment is insanely high because I'm the underdog a lot. But I'm one of the top guys in the world on the return on investment if you're a betting person. So you should always bet on the carny. And one of the things that happens in Vegas, and this is true always, there's always a lot of late money that comes in on me. So people wait, and then the odds are good, It's nothing like when I beat Will Brooks and got 5-1, but 2-1, good enough.
Exactly. I saw the feedback on social media. I love that, your Hard Knocks teammates really were giving you props. But I saw on the other side, on the MMA Lab guys, and even I think Scott's manager, saying that he was robbed and all that. Did you see any of that? Do you pay attention to any of that?
No, I didn't see any of that. And you telling me that, what? What are you talking about? It was pretty clear. I can't imagine anyone who really thinks that, that's an actual fight fan, that's an actual knows what they're talking about, and not just a fanboy. But yeah, that's pretty crazy to me because I clearly won the first round. I almost choked him out the second round, And the third round, even though he landed like a couple good shots, I still got the majority of it. So I'll give him the third round, even though I still think I landed more damage. But, I mean, he won one round at the most, and I think he won none.
You get to celebrate it all even after the hospital, like go out for dinner or anything, or was it just staying in the hospital all night?
Yeah, I got a little bit. I got home and then I got to see my dad, so that's always good. And got to hang out with some of my family and the people that came over to see me, and yeah, that was about it. But mostly, I mean, after I was done fighting, I just want to go home. I want to hang out with my family, my kids. That's the best part. I got to the airport and my little girl sees me and she ran across the airport and gave me a big hug, and
that is the best feeling as a dad, I can tell you. I mean, would you get your kid coming up and giving a hug? That's really the best.
So I mean, that's really what I was looking forward to, and the money is good, all that stuff is good, but that's the whole reason I fight, is to be able to come home to my family, not only a winner but a provider. So that was the plan.
We're not even a few days removed from the fight. I know this is really fresh, but do you have an idea when you'd like to fight again? In terms of your next bout.
I'm thinking May or June. I didn't go into too much detail about this one, but before the fight, like, I was in good shape for this fight, but I spent a lot of the fight with the flu. I spent a lot of time. I almost had to go to the hospital because the temperature was so high and stuff like that. So I have a little bit of a lung infection still. So I got to get that cleared up. But besides that, we're right back at it. If I could, my coaches won't let me. I was at the gym today. They yelled at me. They actually locked the door when I came, and they wouldn't let me in.
Really?
Yeah,
okay, interesting.
But I went to the gym a little bit today. But they're gonna make me take a couple weeks off. I probably won't. I'll probably go to the gym anyways. But I won't get hit in the head for a couple weeks, and then we'll try to schedule a new fight. Try to get right back in there. But you never know with the UFC, because I'll blow up their phone all the time, and they'll be like, sometimes you hear nothing, and so it's not the same as it used to be. I used to be able to call them up and say, "Hey, I want to fight now," and they give me one, but it's not as quick anymore.
Right. Yeah, things have certainly changed in that regard. Just got a few more questions for you. I know you got to get back to being a dad, but any opponents in mind for your next fight, or you just leave that up to the UFC?
No, I'll leave that up to the UFC. I mean, before this fight, there was talk of Gregor Gillespie, and I thought that would be a great fight for me, and I thought it would be a great fight for him too. Let's really test the waters here. But the definite message of this fight, regardless of who it should be, is now that I've come back up to 55, it's time to take Nik Lentz off the B team. It's time to put me back up to the A team and put me against the guys that really matter. Put me against the top 10, put me against the top 5, and I'm telling you, I can beat these guys, and I'm a handful for them all. And to tell you the truth, I think the 55 to top 10 is a little weak right now. I think there's a lot of guys that are great outside the top 10 at 55, but I think the actual core 55 pounders, there's a lot of weak guys in there, and I could definitely take a lot of them out.
Yeah, certainly. If you keep getting wins like that, I completely agree with you. This last one, really impressive. Last question before we let you go. We got to talk a little politics, just like last time. I don't know if you're following this Jussie Smollett thing, the whole issue with the attack. And the big thing for me, I wanted to get your thoughts on this, is the media's coverage of this, and that they just ran with it. Like, there wasn't a lot of evidence. And you're just seeing now all this stuff unraveling. And there's not really a lot of accountability. Just your thought on what's been happening there.
That's I used to comment on these things, like I said before, but when I saw this, I was like, that's crazy. I mean, Trump supporters aren't racist, and nobody is out there trying to lynch people. I mean, that's a pure
in the cold. That's the crazy thing. Like, how cold is it in Chicago that people are going to go with like a noose? It was crazy to begin with.
I mean, it's insanity, but it's so far off base that I'm not even going to comment on that, because it's so wrong, it's so horrible. But the fact that people are making stuff up to try to make people look bad, because they want to characterize everybody, but it's not true. We're all pretty much the same type of people. We have slight disagreements on how to get to the same goals and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not a conservative because I hate poor people and I don't want the government to help anybody. I am a conservative because I believe the government is inefficient and they don't help anybody and they waste people's money, and the private sector will deal it better. But it's sad. It's getting really sad that hate crimes are having to be made up all the time, and then people always believe it. and it's always fake. It's always ridiculous and fake. And so it's unfortunate. It's actually really sad. And I mean, what an embarrassment. And you know, people like that get away with it. I mean, think of the celebrities who retweet it. Think of the people who go after them. I mean, it's a sad day in the political world when something like that can happen.
Yeah, and just last thing I'll say, I don't know if you saw, there was that thread of showing all the tweets that people had, and like there's no, like, nobody's deleting it, no one's acknowledging it or anything like that. They're still up there, so that to me is kind of crazy too. But
that's the media way. They know better, you know. I mean, they do this on purpose. They tweet something out, it gets 18,000 retweets, and then they tag to that tweet the retraction, which gets 10. You know, I mean, they do it on purpose. They could easily delete it. They could easily even just make a new tweet saying, hey, we had said this, but they don't. They put it there, so it's buried on the timeline. They do it on purpose. It's a lie. And they keep getting caught for it more and more and more, but as you can see, the media is such a liar that now it's bleeding into the population that they feel like they need to lie in order to, like, help the cause. And now people are actually getting busted for it. And, I mean, guys, I mean, it's 2019, like, there's videos everywhere. The 1984 spy system is around. So if you're going to make something up, you better do a better job.
Yeah. Speaking of video, last thing, any headway with your Facebook account, or that's still gone?
Oh, no, I was more focused on the fight. It's still gone. But besides that, yeah, you know, we'll work on that. Who knows?
Cool. Well, Nik, thanks so much for the time. Again, I know you got other stuff going on. I really appreciate it. Just remind people where they can find you on social media. And if you got any thank yous or shout outs, the floor is yours, man.
Yeah, it's just at Nik Lentz, always at NIKLENTZ. Mama, please don't touch this. Don't close the thing. Okay. Yeah, at Nik Lentz. So you can find me anywhere. Just hit me up. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. I like the interviews, and I'll talk to you guys soon.